Travelers, Boardman21 here, and today we're going to talk about 0.8.4, the next patch, and beyond. Some of the things that they have now officially stated are coming in 8.4, and some of them are huge, so let's stay tuned and talk about them. And then what will come after that. There's many new things on this list that before we hadn't gone into such detail, or maybe didn't even know were going to be coming, and now we got a little bit more of a forecast. So let's dive into it. Again, this forum link will be linked in the post below so that you can go on it and read it at your own pace. However, I will cover it all here as well. So for the development update, this is for 0.8.4 and beyond, and this came out in October 2021. Development update, this of course came out just today. So hello travelers, our most recent release, the 𝐂𝐮𝐢𝐥𝐝 update, raised the quality bar for our patch releases and is a good example of what our growing team is capable of accomplishing. We welcome thousands of new travelers to our community, and with your help we hope to continue building a home for all Last Epoch players for years to come. The maximum daily peak of concurrent users, while not an all-time record, it did almost hit 6,000 players in the last patch, which is huge. The number of maximum daily active users, the number of people that logged on in one day, although not all at the same time, but logged in one day, 25,404 players. That is a huge amount of players to be playing Last Epoch right now in beta. Just absolutely, I'm flabbergasted at how many people are playing this game. It's growing. I can't wait for multiplayer. It's going to be huge. We all know this. It's just getting huge and bigger by the day. To our outstanding community members who have been working hard to keep in-game chat an inclusive and welcoming experience for all new travelers, thank you. Due to our quickly expanding community, we acknowledge that the need for a major update to our in-game chat services to provide you with a more fun and functional experience is going to happen. We'll have more to share on that with our plans for updating chat in the near future. The state of multiplayer. We know players are excited about multiplayer in Last Epoch, and we can't wait to play with all of you. However, there is still work to be done before we can open the floodgates. We feel it is important to remain transparent about our progress, which is why we publish a monthly multiplayer status update, which I just covered earlier today for the September one. Last week we released the multiplayer progress for September. Like I just said, just covered that in a video, so if you haven't seen that, literally uploaded it earlier today. The forecast for 0.8.4 and beyond, the big news. A few months back, we talked about changes to our roadmap format. The goal of this change is to better inform players about what's coming in the next game update. And in the spirit of these changes, today we'd like to share our forecast for 8.4. This is currently what they have planned for 8.4. I assume this is subject to change if they run into any issues, but this right now is what they say is coming. Legendary items. Whoa, big endgame changer. Eternity Cache, which I believe is a whole endgame system by itself. Not sure if it's entwined with others, but sounds like we're getting another endgame system. First dungeon. Now that's exciting. We are getting our first dungeon. This is going to tell us what dungeons are basically going to be like. Druid Rework, we knew about this. Crafting updates, curious what all is entailed there, although I heard it's going to be more along the lines of not making things feel so when something breaks. But we'll have to see exactly what changes are being made. I have heard that it's not really changing the overall success of items though. And then new character models. Curious which ones. If I had to just completely do a guess off the top of my head, it's obviously got to be Acolyte, Mage, or Sentinel. And then our list for what's coming after 8.4, we have reworked content, areas, skills, animations, chapters 10 to 12, which was just recently announced they'd be going that far, multiplayer testing, more dungeons, the Ruin Master, Warlock, and Falconer masteries, lost memories, performance improvements, item trading, the Bazaar of Favor system, which is new, endgame system, Epoch Skull, and endgame systems, Gates of Morium. And I'm really curious about the favor system, but I haven't heard any details at all about it. As you can see in the updated forecast, the next patch will bring a lot of interesting content and long-awaited changes. Let's take a closer look at what you can look forward to in patch 8.4 coming later this year. Legendary items and the Eternity Cache. Legendary items and the Eternity Cache are a major feature in 8.4. Since announcing these features all the way back in 2018, we've iterated on their design a lot internally to ensure that they enhance Last Epoch's itemization by providing great endgame chase and making item drops more exciting. We're not ready to announce exactly how legendary items work or how the Eternity Cache factors into their acquisition, but hold on to your exalted items that have good affixes. You'll want them. Okay, so let's think back. Let's just go back here a minute. The Eternity Cache, from my original understanding of it, which could be completely different than what it is now, was that there would be a chest, maybe it'd be an endgame chest where you finish a quest, or you finish a map and there's a chest, or you just randomly find them out in the world. And you could place items in this chest and then come back later and they'd be more powerful. So now it's sounding like, if that's the case, you can throw exalted items into these, come back later and have a legendary exalted item, or a legendary item, but basically an exalted item that's become more powerful. That's what it's sounding like. I have no idea exactly how it's going to work, but if that's the basis of it, it sounds pretty good. I'm sure there's obviously a lot more depth to it than that, but super excited for that. And like they said, start keeping all your exalted items. You're going to want them. The Druid Rework. Earlier this year, we talked about plans to improve the Druid mastery and especially the transformation skills and mechanics. Here are some changes you can expect to see in the next update. A new Druid form. Transform skills are getting new visuals. Transform skills are getting new skill trees. New transform mechanics, including a new resource system. Whoa. The ability to stay in transforms permanently more easily. Support for multi-form builds. Key binding for Druid form abilities. And reworks and updates to all other Druid skills. We will share more about these changes in the upcoming weeks, but for now, enjoy the sneak peek of a reworked Rare Bear gameplay. And you can see this bear, oh my god, the way he runs, crawls, hits, everything about him, how big he is. Oh man, I cannot wait to play him. He looks like a beast. I really like it, really like it. And, if you notice, he used Warcry. For the record, it might have been War, but it looks like Warcry. Introducing the first dungeon. Patch 8.4 will bring the first dungeon into the game. The dungeon system is another major system in Last Epoch that we will build upon over time, adding more dungeons and dungeon mechanics in later updates. We will have more information for you closer to the patch release, but for now we can reveal that it will utilize our first interaction of map layout randomization and will offer different gameplay compared to monolith maps. Randomization is finally coming. Ooh. Crafting updates. Crafting in Last Epoch is one of our fan favorite systems, so we're making updates to it. We want to be careful not to change what players like about it. However, we feel there are some issues with the current system. For example, the random factor of fracturing items can lead to feel bad and frustrating moments. In 8.4 crafting will get some major changes. It will still be deterministic and involve using shards to augment or add specific modifiers to the item, and we will still keep the element of randomization. However, the randomization will no longer come in the form of an item suddenly fracturing. Continuous efforts to improve game visuals. We are improving Last Epoch visuals every patch, and 8.4 will be no different. For example, in the 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐥𝐝 update, the Primals got a new model, and we'll be adding new models for the rest of our characters in the upcoming patch. Ooh, all of them. New models will support facial animations, which will be important for the future improvements of the game. We're also hard at work at creating new and updated armor sets as we're nearing completion brand new models on all of our in-game weapons and offhands. Many visual effects that don't represent the current quality of Last Epoch visuals are being reworked. Some initial targets beyond the Druid rework include Flame Reave, Serpent Strike, Wandering Spirits, Frenzy, Haste, and many on-hit visuals. I like it. We are also constantly looking to update older enemies. Some of the void enemies encountered early in the game are some of the oldest and are being brought into the modern standards. And they got some concept art here. These look sweet. I'm actually really excited for this. Really excited for the new areas to have that Chapter 9 type of quality and better. Another enemy that we will be replacing is all forms of Spriggans. I assume this will mean that many of them will look much different. It looks like they have concept art for many different types, and they're also going to look different than your summoned Spriggan or your Spriggan pet, which really excited for that to be able to tell the difference. Last Epoch's character creation and selection screen is also showing its age, as many have pointed out. We understand that first impressions are very important, and we're reworking these screens entirely to include new visuals, better representation of characters, and an updated UI. And then what else they're working on beyond 8.4? One of our long-term goals is to continue to improve and rework campaign chapters to bring the quality of the campaign up to the new standards. That means making all the other chapters as good as Chapter 9. Voice acting, animations, visuals, maps, everything. That takes a lot of work. Super excited to see it as it improves and gets to that standard. We're adding in more voice acting, making dialogue and narrative adjustments to help engage players with the story, and working on story collectibles, which will give players a way to get deeper in the stories of Edera. I have been asking for that for a long time. things that you can actually pick up, whether it be just a script, a story, a book, an actual item, something that you can physically have to tie you into the story. We also have targets that make combat in Last Epoch feel more impactful and satisfying. It is absolutely crucial to get that feel of combat right, and we're exploring many improvements we can make, including updating hit visual effects, exploring directional hit improvements, and improving hit sounds across the board, and more. We'll be sharing more information and teasers on the upcoming patch through the social media channels, so make sure to follow all of them. Thanks again for all the amazing support opportunities you provided to 11th Hour Games. We're working hard to make Last Epoch a game that you'll want to come back for years to come. And I tell you what, it's already been years for me. There's no way I'm leaving. It's getting better and better by the day. And that's going to be it for this update. Many things in there to really soak in and take in and are just really exciting. 8.4 is going to be awesome. So as always, stay safe, travelers, and have a good day.